Time for another sit-down interview here on Current River Broadcasting. I'm Chelsea Borkus, and today we have the Donettes basketball coach, Mr. Adam Epps, here to talk about the upcoming basketball season. It's hard to believe we're approaching the basketball season already, but before we talk about this coming season, let's talk about last year. Now that you've had time to think about it, what are some of the moments or things that stand out for you from last season on the team?
Had a really talented group last year, and we were really deep as well. We were able to play 9 or 10 players regularly. Had some really good moments of that year as well. I think one thing that stands out to me is found a way to win even when it wasn't pretty. There was a time, I think, where we stretched it out and won 16 games in a row, and that's a pretty big deal. That's a rare thing to happen, and so it was a successful year, and it didn't end the way we wanted to. You know, that's kind of always in the back of my head. I think about that last game all the time, but that's part of it. Yeah.
It was a pretty good season for the Donettes. You won the Lady Royals Christmas tournament for the first time in 15 years, repeated as OFC champs, and won districts for the second time in 3 years. Not to mention finishing with a 24-4 record. Having accomplished everything you did last year, how do you keep raising the bar for this year's team?
I think the standards kind of stay the same. You know, we want to be in championship games, championship environments, and we're trying to figure out how we play our best in those type of games, because a lot of people get rattled, especially it's like if it's your first time ever playing in a district championship or any championship game at all. Nerves are kind of high, everybody's all amped up, but figuring out how to be able to perform how you normally perform at a game like that, that's kind of what we're always working on. But our standards stay the same, our expectations really stay the same, and we're really fortunate here at Doniphan that we always got talented girls that are here and want to work hard and are ready to play.
Yeah. So let's talk about the team. Your 3 leading scorers graduated last year, and Allie Skaggs is graduating early, and Maddie Reedus is out for at least half of the first season with a knee injury. But Grayson Kirby is back for her senior year. So tell us about the team and what you see as some of the roles the players will play.
It's definitely a different dynamic, and that's kind of the fun part for me of being a coach, is who's going to fill those roles that were there last year. And a lot of times those change drastically, you know, like losing 4 starters from last year's group. So people are going to be put into different roles, and we really are fortunate enough that we've got the people that are ready to step in those roles, you know, whatever they may be. It's a little early to say, but, you know, we've got people. Kinsey Reedus is going to step in there and play a good amount. We're going to rely on her a whole bunch as far as protecting the rim, rebounding, finishing underneath the basket. You mentioned Grayson Kirby coming back. If we can get her 100% healthy, she's going to change things as being a former point guard and somebody that knows the game well. It's another high IQ player out on the floor. And then we got a couple people that came off the bench last year and played meaningful minutes consistently, you know. I would say we probably played 8 players religiously that were a part of the rotation no matter what. And those 3 that come off the bench was Brooklyn, Maddie Reedus, and Kinsey Reedus. They're going to be big-time players for us as well. Kenna Monahan is the returning starter, so, you know, a lot's going to go on her shoulders as well. And then we got people that are looking to get in that 8, 9-man rotation and fulfill a role in the team, and we've got them. So we're really fortunate for that, and we're excited to be put in those different roles. And I like to see how it shapes out every year. It's pretty fun.
So we all know you're pretty famous for making your stars of the team. So who do you think is going to be your Bailey Carson or Olivia Kreutz this season?
Man, that's tough to say. I don't know if we have stars of the team. I think like Bailey Carson and Olivia Kreutz, they're totally different players to me. You know, Olivia is the push-it, go girl, and Bailey is the high IQ'd, find the right play girl. So if you're asking like point guard, I think it's going to be Kenna Monahan right now. Maddie Reedus gets healthy. That could be probably in her hands a little bit more. But I would say we're probably going to have about 3 or 4 girls that are going to be in the scoring column, hopefully getting double figures every night. I don't know if we have one just shining star of the team. I think it's going to be kind of like it has always been, is by committee. So,
let's touch on the JV team. We all know that there are a lot of freshmen this year, and you have a big freshman class coming in. So tell us a little bit about them.
You gotta love freshmen, even when you don't want to. I think we've got 8 freshmen, and they've been working really, really hard. There's a lot of potential there. You know, a lot of times that freshman year, people are scared and they don't know what to expect, and they're just trying to survive.
Yeah.
But I think we've got several in that group. If they stick it out, they could be a really, really force to be reckoned with here in a couple years for sure, because we got some size, we got guards that can play, and we also got some really good athletes that are going to be on that JV squad as well.
Awesome.
So they're going to be fun to watch.
Awesome. Talking about the upcoming season, you start at the Lady Dog tournament again this year. And if it hadn't been for that 1-point loss to Liberty on the second night, you would have won 18 games in a row last season. Are the same teams returning this year?
I think so. I think there was one team change. I don't know for sure, but yeah, I definitely remember that loss. I think we had a shot underneath the basket, and Allie put it up, and it went in and came out, and the buzzer went off. So it was a pretty close game, kind of a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
Because we haven't played in the championship game in that tournament since I've been here. So that's one thing we're trying to do. A lot of times we're not playing our best basketball at the beginning of the year, and neither is anybody else. So, you know, one little bad game and you end up playing in third place game, or it could be consolation side. So we're excited about that. It's a good tournament, good way to kick off the season.
Yeah. There's 9 home games this season, and the first one is on December 12th against Naylor. The gym was full for your games, and some of them got pretty loud last season. Talk about the fans and how much you feed off of them.
Man, we are really, really fortunate to play where we play. Especially being a girls basketball player, we go to a lot of gyms and there's nobody there, or it's just like a few people. And we're talking like even teams that are good and talented, they just don't come out. And here at Doniphan, there's just as many people at girls games and boys, and sometimes maybe even a little bit more, because we've got a great community that supports us. It's just a great place to play. It's a great place to be a basketball player. It's a great place to be a basketball coach, because people are excited. You know, Doniphan's a basketball town, and we love it.
You definitely have a good fan base. Any teams to watch out for either in the Lady Royals Christmas Tournament or OFC?
I think a team to kind of watch out for this year is going to be the East Carter Redbirds. I think they're going to be better than last year. They've got some size that's going to give some teams problems, and they got a really dynamic scorer on their team as well. Lady Royal, Kennett has got some pieces this year that if they can get it figured out, they could be kind of a scary matchup as well. Other than that, that's probably all that really sticks out in my mind.
Yeah. And as if trying to repeat as champs at those 2 tournaments isn't enough, you have 2 tough matchups with Jackson and South Iron as your final games of the season. Was that something you scheduled intentionally? Yes.
We picked up Jackson because, number one, they're really good, and South Iron both are very, very talented teams, and we need to be tested. And we definitely need to be tested there at the end of the year, right before we start district play, and, you know, hopefully get on another run like last year, you know, and we want to be ready for that a little bit better. That just kind of resonates in our minds, you know, and nobody's happy about losing in the sectional game. And the further you get on a run like that, the worse those losses hurt, because you know you're that close to getting where, you know, not many teams have gone before, you know, so we got high goals.
Okay, so we're going to do a speed round of questions about the team. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
We asked your seniors this last year. What wins a game? A good defense or offense?
Oh, man. This has got to be speed. This is tough.
Quick, fast.
Defense.
Who's the last one out of the gym on most nights?
Probably Tara Davis.
All right. You need to shut down a player on the other team. Who's guarding her?
Kenna Monahan.
You need a bucket to win. Who is begging you to give her the ball?
Probably Brooke.
Who gets the team fired up when they need it the most?
Probably Kenna Monahan. I don't know.
Who's the team's clown that keeps things light?
Probably Peyton Lowry.
Who keeps her teammates in check?
Probably Taylor Davis.
And the most important question of all,
Oh, boy.
who keeps Coach Epps in check?
I don't know if that can be done.
Yes, you are quite a character.
Yeah. It takes a lot of people to do that.
Yeah. Okay, a final few questions. When will you know which teams will be in your district, and do you think it will be roughly the same teams from the past couple years?
It's November 18th is when that is released, and I don't know. You know, sometimes Misha does some squirrely stuff, and they send us west. This year, boys and girls are classified differently. You know, so I don't know if that's going to move other teams up or down a class. So I think we'll still be around Dexter. We'll still be around Kennett. And after that, I really don't know.
Yeah. You've had 4 20-win seasons in a row now. And you've done it without having a superstar who averages way more points a game than anyone else. Your points are usually spread out among 6 or 7 players. What's the message you give to your team?
That we don't have stars. We have people that want to star in their role. And for me as a coach, the hardest team to go up against is a team that has about 3 or 4 people that can score. You know, if you only have one player that can score, 9 times out of 10 we got the solution to that problem. So we're going to make somebody else beat us. But so when we have 4 people, we try to get 4 people in double figures, you know, 10 or more points. And if we have that, who do you guard?
Yeah.
You know, so that makes it tough, you know. And every once in a while, somebody will have a big night, get in the 20s, but consistently, we want to come at you in waves, and we want to come at you on different fronts. We want to get post scoring. We got guards that can score. We're going to get points off of steals. We're going to get to the free throw line. And we just got a really, really talented group. And I tell them all the time, you know, if a lot of these girls that don't get a consistent amount of time would go to another school in our conference, you could go there and probably be the man, you know. But you got to kind of, what are you wanting to do? Do you want to win and be a part of a complete team, or do you just want to go and be the star and not win as many games?
Yeah. So what is the message you feel like you're trying to send your team this year?
You know, and we're losing 4 starters. We got a pretty key injury, and if you pay attention to social media, which you shouldn't, but sometimes you get on there anyway, somebody had us ranked as the 10th, like the bottom, and they had some teams ahead of us. And I'm just going to say this. We're playing with a chip on our shoulder this year. A lot of people are counting us out, and that does nothing but motivate us, you know. So every day we're coming in, we're hungry, and it would be a bad bet to bet against the Donettes this year. I'm just going to tell you that.
Awesome. With the success over the past few years, are you starting to feel like you go into most games with a target on your back now?
Oh, most definitely. I think most teams got us circled on their schedule.
Yeah.
And it would probably make their year to beat us. So most definitely, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so one last question. What's the goal for the season?
You know, our goals are the same. We want to be in championship games, and we want to perform at our best in those championship games. Whatever that means for this group, time will really tell. I think they're good enough to be better than last year's group. You know, we got to get everybody healthy. We got to get everybody playing together, and we got to get everybody believing in what we're preaching. And once we have that, you know, and everybody's playing for each other, and they're not playing for themselves, you know, and they're playing for the name on their chest, not the name on the back. I think we can go as far as any team has gone here before.
Yeah. All right. Before we let you go, is there anything you want to tell us about the Jamboree next week?
Yep, it's November 15th, starts at 6 p.m. We're going to have some really talented teams coming. West Plains, who was the Class 5 state champion from last year, is coming in. We've got a good Thayer team that's got a young group that are really talented. They're coming in. And a good Oran team that has a really good post player. So it should be a fun night, your first chance to kind of get to watch the Donettes and our first chance to play somebody else and see what we really need to hit on before we play that first game.
All right. Well, thank you for coming in and talking with us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And we will see you next time.